You're listening to the Deepening Your Faith podcast with Daniel Eichelberger, pastor of Providence Baptist Church in McLean, Virginia. Deepening Your Faith exists to help you grow in the grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ for the glory of God and the good of His church. For more about Deepening Your Faith, you can go to pbcmclean.org. Hey, Daniel Eichelberger here. I want to talk to you about this week's episode of Deepening Your Faith. We're going to have on the show Amanda Logue. She is the KidsMinistry Coordinator at Providence Baptist Church. She does an amazing job with her kids. She has a wonderful family and a great story. So tune in this Thursday on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. And speaking of that, we're going to be giving away this copy of the Jesus Storybook Bible. So whoever likes, comments, and shares that episode of Deepening Your Faith from its YouTube channel, we'll send this to you free of charge. I hope you tune in. I hope you enjoy. Until then, God bless. Amanda Logue, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. It's good to have you on Deepening Your Faith, the podcast. And we're just going to learn a little bit about you just to fill everyone in. You're the Kids Ministry Coordinator at Providence Baptist Church. You've been here for just over a year, like 13 months, something like that, thereabouts. And before that, where were you and your family worshiping before you came to Providence?
Before we were at Providence, my family and I, we were at Cornerstone.
Okay, in Leesburg, right?
Leesburg, yes.
Yeah. All right. And how long have you guys had you guys been there?
Ever since the pandemic. So we were there for about 4 years.
Right.
Yeah, because we came from another startup church before that.
Okay.
And then we went over to Cornerstone because Cornerstone was actually meeting during the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Were you involved in any ministries there when you guys were there?
Yes, actually I was. Not at first. But Cornerstone's a very large church.
Very large. How many people do you know?
Oh, my.
Thousands.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Thousands.
In the thousands. It's a mega church.
Yeah, they have 3 services on Sundays. And so we, what was the question again? Sorry.
What were you involved in? Yeah.
Oh, involved, yes. So not at first, but then they always ask for volunteers.
Okay.
And so I love children. I have a lot of children. So I was like, okay, maybe
When you say a lot, what's a lot of children?
I have 5.
5 kids.
Yes, 5 children.
4 boys, 1 girl?
4 boys and 1 girl.
And the girl came last.
She was my baby. Yep, she is my baby. So I went ahead and just volunteered for the children's ministry. And I was with the little ones that were like 2, 2.5, and I loved it. And then another opportunity came about with volunteering, and that was singing. So I would sing with the children as well. So I would have them, then we would go into the big room, and then I would go up to the front, and I would sing with them, which was super fun. And we would do sign language with our songs.
Right.
Because they're only like 2 and 3-year-olds. So
right.
Just kind of made the songs more real for them. And then I would go back and go ahead and, teach my class.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe about a couple of years doing that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So then you guys came to Providence from a mega church to a small church.
Yes, we did.
And when I was thinking about our time together today, I put it together that, my family and I came from a very large church in Southern California, Harvest Christian Fellowship, then to a very small church context, and you guys did too. So both of our families have kind of that experience. What's that transition been like going from mega large to mega small?
I will say that driving and parking is much easier.
That is so true, right?
Oh, my word. Because that was the one thing that drove my husband absolutely crazy, was the fact that he would leave where the first, they would still be in the first part of the preaching.
Okay.
but he would wait because then he could get good parking. And then he would just wait, and then all of them would start coming out.
Right.
He'd be there super early because
To get a spot for it to be less stressful.
Exactly. For me, it was easier because I would be with the first group. So that's how I did it. I would volunteer for the children's ministry for the first service and then meet him for the second service so I could actually go in and worship.
Right. So yeah, parking. I often joke because we have McLean Bible across the street from us, another mega church. And I've thought about we should put signs out pointing to our parking lot, McLean satellite parking.
Yes, there you
and
go.
Satellite campus. And just, trick people. And
Yes,
that
I
wouldn't
think
be very
that's a great
Christian.
idea.
It's funny, but not very Christian. So we can talk about it, but we're not going to do it for the record. So, yeah. Okay, so transitioning, easier parking. What else?
Easier parking.
Yeah.
That's for Rick.
Yes.
I would say. That's my husband.
Yeah.
For me, I will say that I love Cornerstone. I think Cornerstone's a great church, but it's very hard to make connections. So when you're in a large church, you see familiar faces and you might smile, but you don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So here I know everybody.
Right.
Everybody knows my name and I know everybody's name.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah.
It makes it more real.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Pastor Gary for the first time, and it was almost like meeting a celebrity.
Right.
Because, he's surrounded by, I don't want to say Secret Service, but that's kind of like what they are.
Like a security team or something like that. Yeah.
Security team.
Yeah.
And then...
I don't need a security team because I know many martial arts and I don't at all.
But we have a connection with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like... Yeah. We can invite you over to our house, or we can come over, and it's like a family. Whereas with Pastor Gary, it was just more like meeting a celebrity.
Right.
He's up there on the pulpit. You see him, but it's not the same connection.
Yeah, and it's not even necessarily that he's trying to be like that. It's just the nature of the situation. Yes. Very large church. How can you know 5,000 people? You can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
And they started out small, so I'm sure there's a lot of people they definitely know.
Yeah, through the years, right.
Yeah, but when you start multiplying that and multiplying that and multiplying that, there's no way you're going to know everybody.
No, you can't. Yeah. Well, and it's interesting you talk about family because in our adult Sunday school class, I asked the question just this last Sunday, what's the term that's used most to describe Christians in the Bible? So, for example, one term would be Christian, which is mentioned once. What would you guess would be the number one word that's used in the New Testament to describe Christians?
Family?
Essentially, yeah. I mean, brother and sister. That's the word that's used most to refer to Christians in the New Testament. Yeah. And so if we're thought of as brothers and sisters, what does that assume? We're a family.
We're a family.
Yeah. God is our father. Jesus is like our big brother.
Yeah.
So a church should, by design, by its nature, function like a family. So that's a benefit of a smaller church. Is it the life of the church better expresses its design, which is the bigger you at our church, it begins to feel more like a corporation.
Right.
More formal, less informal. You don't know everyone. Maybe like I was on staff as a pastor, so you knew the staff better than you knew the church. Right. The staff becomes a church. Like we had like 200 people on staff, so it's like that becomes more like a family than the church itself. So yeah, that's definitely one of the benefits. Any other things that you've enjoyed transitioning from mega big to mega small?
That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. Parking and family.
Well, I would say for me, number one is family. The connection is more real.
But you're not going to complain about the ease of parking.
I'm not going to complain. No, not at all. It's so funny, but when you pull in, you're like, oh, which parking spot?
Right, yeah.
Today.
We could probably assign each person their own spot, like put their names on it if we wanted
Definitely.
to. Yeah. Okay. How about the kids? So 5 kids. How old's your oldest?
He is 13.
And your youngest?
8.
So we'll go from first to last, the ages.
13, 12, 11, 9, and 8.
13, 12, 11, 9, and 8. Okay. How has it been for them? I mean, so like, hey, I'm a pastor of a small church. I don't want to disparage small church, but I would think maybe kids would feel like they're missing out going from the mega church that has lots and lots of programs, something to do probably every night of the week, to our church being smaller. Do they feel at all like they're missing out on something that they once had?
Well, I was fearful that they were going to miss out.
Right.
That was one of my main concerns.
Yeah, you're a parent, right?
Right.
Yeah, you don't want your kids to miss out.
Exactly. So I was trying to be like, okay, well, we can, plug you in at their Wednesday nights at Cornerstone or Wednesday nights at Reston Bible Church for doing youth ministry.
Right. Kind of supplement.
I was trying to figure out ways I could go about doing that. But I will tell you that the kids love it here.
Yeah? Oh, good.
Yeah, they love it here. They don't miss it. When I try to ask them, like, why is it that you love Providence more than some of the other churches that we've attended? And it's because Cornerstone was so big, they felt lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They couldn't make connections with friends. And that's really difficult.
Right.
You know what I mean? So with, here they have friends. They know everybody.
Yeah. And everybody knows them.
Everybody knows them. Here comes the Logue family. Right. Good gravy. Passenger van comes up. Woo.
Right.
But like I said, I was fearful.
Right.
It was more my fear.
Yeah.
They're doing great.
Yeah.
You started the Friday nights with a youth Bible study, which was a big deal for me, and the kids love it.
Right.
And so they do that twice a month.
Spring, summer, we have family fun nights
That's
outside.
Right. I'm excited about that. That's coming up on the 30th, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
7 p.m.
Yeah. There's our plug. No, I'm actually excited about that. And the kids love it because, it's just a time to get together. And I think you said there's going to be live music.
Yeah. Yes. Live music.
That's exciting.
Our very own Bob Lawson, our music leader. And he's got some friends from other churches that they play together as a band at like restaurants and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
They'll be there. Yeah. Well, good. I mean, that makes me happy and I feel like just trying to be an unbiased observer, which is hard when you're the senior pastor of the church. You're biased, but I feel like they've transitioned well. They seem happy. Yeah. And we have a good time at youth night. We do Bible training or Bible study, but we also have a lot of fun.
Yes.
We were doing gel blasters in the gym, and we had obstacles they could hide behind, and they had to capture the flag, and it's
my highlight is that I won with balloons. We play a balloon.
Oh, the balloon stomp.
The balloon stomp.
Yes.
And the last time it was between my 12-year-old Kieran and myself. We were the last ones in. I won. I never win between, the kids. So,
who's your mama?
I know. So I was very excited about that.
Right. Very good. Yeah, we have fun. So, I mean, we do try and make sure that there's something for kids. And it's interesting you say that. Like, isn't it interesting you can be at a church of thousands, but not feel connected?
Yeah, it is. It's weird.
Like, you would think the numbers would be like, it should be easier to make connections. But it's kind of true. The larger something gets, it becomes more overwhelming. And of all the people, it's almost like too many options. You just don't, you short circuit.
The one way that they try to get people connected is through their K groups.
Like a small group.
Right. And unfortunately, every time we try to sign up for a K group, it was either in Percival, too far.
Right.
Who could have kids as well. That was the big things because, we needed to come with our family. And so
they need to be kid friendly.
Right. And some of them, so we had a hard time. We never found a K group for us.
Got it.
So it just, it was just meant to be because it would have been harder if we had found a K group and had more of a connection.
Oh, that would have been hard to leave.
It would have been harder to leave.
Thank God they didn't have a K group for
Yes, exactly. See, he has a design for everything.
And I have to imagine they probably have at least 100 K groups.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sure about that.
Yeah. So it's interesting that you weren't able to find a K group.
Yeah.
And had you, it would have been harder to come here.
Yeah.
So.
Well, God opens and closes doors for
That's
a
right.
reason. And
That's right.
I think it's just something that we need to really focus on and be like, oh, okay, God doesn't want us to do that this year or this season. That's fine. Maybe the next season the K group will open up.
Right.
And that didn't happen. And this opportunity opened up, and it's been great for our family.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. So you homeschool your kids.
I do.
Which is hard. It's a lot of work.
It's terribly hard.
And I'm talking about it's hard if you have one kid or two kids to homeschool, but you have 5.
Yes.
And your oldest is 13, youngest is 8?
8.
So you got a 5-year difference in addition to everything else. Yes. 5 kids, just you, and a 5-year separation between the oldest and the youngest, and there's those in between. So that's hard work. So you're their mom.
Yes.
You're their homeschool teacher.
Yes.
And now, when they come to church, you're the kids ministry coordinator.
Yes.
So they can't escape mom.
No, there's no escape.
How do they feel about that? Was that a big deal for them, or is it just like, oh, that's life, it's no different?
It's just life for them.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes it's just it's just hard sometimes to realize, like, mom is in a different role now. I'm always mom. But at this point, like, now I'm teaching you, so there's a different kind of level of respect here, or, you know.
They can't be casual kid. They need to be more respectful. Yeah. Yeah.
And we sometimes struggle with that. But
sure, I could see that. That's a hard differentiation for a kid to make suddenly.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's drawing the line, and the kids don't want to they want to mess up those lines.
We like blurry lines.
Yes.
or none at all.
Exactly.
That's
Mom
right.
likes the lines. Like, this is what I'm doing right now, so you be mindful of it.
Right.
And listen to mom. But yeah.
Well, I one thing I want to let you know is I've had people from the church just remark, not come to me, but just we're talking, and they'll remark. Multiple people have remarked about how respectful and well-behaved your kids are. So
that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as a parent, and you are a parent too,
yeah,
our kids are not as respectful with us.
Yeah.
So when you hear that they're respectful outside of us, being near us, that means it's a win.
Right.
You know what I mean? That means that they know how to present themselves correctly outside of the home.
Right. Yeah.
And outside of mom staring at them.
No, and it's good to hear that. I mean, kind of off topic, I won't use names, but there's a boy that lives next door to you guys, and he came, and one of your sons came and spent the night at our house just last Saturday night. And he was so respectful. Yes, please. Thank you. No, thank you.
Aww.
And I made sure to text his mom, hey, just so you know, super respectful kid. And that's also the neat thing about a smaller church is there's a lot more intimacy and familiarity that you can have. Speaking about you guys transitioning from Cornerstone to here, when you were still deciding, your husband, Rick, came for the first time.
So, okay. So I first brought this opportunity up to Rick, and he said no. Like, that was it.
Like, we're not even talking
We're not even going to move.
Denied.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Now, you have to understand, when we left our previous church, we went and I was putting makeup on in the car. He and the kids walked into Reston Bible Church, and then, he proceeded to walk back. And I was like, what? He goes, it's too big. We're not doing this. And I'm like, okay. And then literally probably a few months later, we ended up at Cornerstone.
Right.
Which is much larger than Reston Bible Church.
Yeah.
So when Rick was like, no, we're not moving. We're not switching churches. I was like, I mean, okay. And I'm trying to be respectful as his wife. And I'm like, maybe you could just try it.
Right.
Just give it, just go and listen to a sermon. Just sit there and try it out.
Try it. You'll like it.
Nope. And so I just let it go. And I prayed and I said to him, maybe you should just open up your heart and pray about it.
Right.
And then finally he said, okay, we can go listen to one Sunday morning. And then we were sitting next to each other. And I want to say within 10 minutes, he whispers in my ear, he goes, "This is our church." And I was like, what? Because I was just so surprised, so shocked.
Right.
But how he felt like he was at home. Like this was the place he was meant to be. And that was shocking for me.
Right.
And I will tell you the funny thing about Rick. He does not like the worship component of church. So at Cornerstone...
When you say worship, like the music?
Music, yeah. So at Cornerstone, he would literally sit out front until all the music was done and then walk up and sit down next to me.
Interesting.
When it was time for Gary to come up and preach.
Okay.
But here that he loves it.
Interesting.
And he sings horribly. But he sings.
It's a joyful noise.
I'm in shock. Like he doesn't excuse himself. He's not up in the front, waits to come in. He's there and he's happy.
That's neat. What do you think? Why do you think that is? What's the difference? What do you think?
I have no idea. I don't know if it's because our music is not like big band. You know what I mean? It's not like a rock band or anything like that. I don't know if that's it. We have more not traditional hymns, but we do in a way.
Right.
I don't know if that's it. I'm not sure, but he just feels, I guess, more at ease.
Yeah. And you're right. We sing older traditional hymns, newer songs by like Sovereign Grace, City of Light, but it's not that really super loud, overwhelming sound.
Right.
That
you can hear them singing with you.
Yeah.
Versus not.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've heard people say that, like they've gone to other churches, they really like it, but they've used the words like the music is oppressive, like it's just so loud.
Yeah.
I remember at my old church one time just going, I can't hear myself singing, which makes it really hard because I can't sing well. So if I can't hear myself at all, then it's really bad. It's just flat.
Right.
But it didn't matter because no one could hear me and I couldn't hear anyone. All I could hear was the music. So yeah, that would be a difference. So, well, that's good to know that he enjoys that.
He does.
Yeah.
He loves the music.
Yeah. I just remember that day when he came to seek things out. I was pretty sure you guys weren't going to come. And so I had just gone in, like, just set yourself up for disappointment, Right. And after the service, I'm standing at the exit doors out of the worship center, and Rick comes up and he says something along the lines of he goes, "This is our church now." I was like, okay. Yeah. And I think I went over to you and I go, "Rick just told me this is our church. Did you know that?" And it was like you were just finding it.
I was shocked. Yeah. I was. Yeah. He's an interesting guy. Like you think he's stuck and he's not going to move, and then all of a sudden he just completely surprises you.
He's the movable, immovable object.
Exactly. Exactly.
Great. Yeah. Well, I enjoy having you guys here so much, and
I do too.
Yeah. You've been a super, just a blessing and a addition to our church. Thank you. Lots of people say it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's focus a little bit more on, so you're the kids ministry coordinator. You're on staff here at Providence Baptist Church. Last week we had Bob Lawson, our music leader, on, and we'll get to that because you're also on the music team.
I am.
Yeah. How do you feel the Lord has, maybe we might say, equipped you, prepared you for this, both maybe formal, informal training that has led you to this point?
Well, I will say that no matter what church I've been in, I have always participated in the children's ministry.
Okay.
So I think the fact that God's always placed that on my heart to be with kids, even though I already have children, I think that's pretty cool. And the fact that Cornerstone and you guys also do the same Bible lesson.
Oh, Gospel Project, right?
Yes, the Gospel Project. So it was very easy for me to come in because it's exactly the same.
Right.
Which to me was really cool.
Yeah. That's a good curriculum.
It is a great curriculum.
Yeah.
The kids really enjoy it. They have really fun and interactive projects and games and stuff like that. And that's the other thing. You know, we get to, because we have a smaller kids ministry, we're able to do more with that.
Right.
Versus, you know, at Cornerstone, you might not be able to per se play some of the busy back and forth games, the more active games.
Yeah. Probably a little bit more hurting. The
Right.
amount of people, a little bit more time spent just keeping
Yes.
them in order.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I was with the older group, we would have to like break up our teams. So like I would have a set of 5 kids and then this person.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was done kind of like that way.
Right.
And that worked.
Yeah.
But it was more
That's smart.
hands-on stuff instead of like the fun activity,
Right.
fun stuff that the kids
Yeah.
love.
Good.
So that's been a real blessing. And like I said, you know, God opens doors and it's just you having to try to follow that lead from him.
Right.
I mean, we're very blessed to be here. And I'm very blessed to know all these other great kids.
Yeah.
You know, there's some really awesome kids here at Providence.
Yeah. We have a good group of people. We would like to have that group get bigger.
Yes.
We're not opposed to getting a little bit bigger.
We would love to have us to have to break up into groups of, 5 kids per person.
Right.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But you never know what the future holds.
And we'd be willing to give up the ease of parking too. Like if it's a little bit harder to find a parking spot, that would be okay. Yeah.
Or if your parking spot, the normal one's not there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You move one spot over.
But we have a good amount of parking, so it'd be a while till that would happen.
But what a blessing day would that be, you know?
Yes.
Come in and be like, wow, there's a lot of people here today.
That would be.
Or me calling backup. I need
backup.
people.
Yeah.
More people into the children's ministry stat.
Need a bigger boat.
Exactly. I would love that day to come.
Yeah. Me too. So what else? What else have you done in your time that helps transition into kids ministry coordinator?
Well, I just think the fact that God has, first put something on my heart to homeschool, you know, that I'm already teaching my kids at home. That also is very easy for me to step into that role.
And you have 5 kids, so you're used to having to manage chaos.
Exactly.
Right.
I am, yes. And trust me, my kids are very chaotic.
They're kids, though. They're chaotic in the sense that they're energetic. They like to have fun.
Very energetic.
They're not doing bad things. They're,
No.
Yeah.
No, they just like to torture each other because they're siblings. You know, that's the only thing. But I think that because I have a lot of children, I'm able to juggle. You know, I don't have like my sister and brother and I were 8 and 12 and a half years apart.
Oh, wow. That's a good spread.
The fact that I had, 5 kids in 5 years, you are multitasking a lot.
Right.
And so that's also helped me prepare for this role as well.
And you also, you tutor professionally children on the autism spectrum, right?
Yeah, I've been doing that since I was a senior in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I started then.
How did that start as a senior in high school?
There was somebody in the class who I guess had started working with a young man and a young lady. And they asked if anybody was interested in working with children on who are autistic. And I love children, so I raised my hand. I had never really heard of autism.
Right.
So I was a little taken back, but wow, what an amazing challenge. So I started then with being trained by Lovas. So I started sort of the rote Lovas training.
Is that an organization that works?
Yes, it's from California. They're from California, and they would fly out instructors to kind of teach us how to do programs for each one of the children. But anyways, it started like that, and then it's blossomed to I had my own company for a little while. I only had it for a year before I became pregnant with my firstborn. And then I was able to actually make and manage programs and go into people's homes and implement the programs.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed that. And then I started working with one young man who actually just had his first year of college under his belt.
Very cool.
Super excited.
But how long had you been?
Oh, I started with him when, oh my goodness, 5.
Oh, wow.
So I've known him.
So most of his life.
Yeah. So I started with him at 5 at a school that I was his teacher.
Okay.
And then he went to public school, and I proceeded to have children.
Got it.
And then his mom asked me back, and I was pregnant with my 3rd son, and I said, sure, why not? And I am so grateful that I've been with him for so long. He is an amazing young man. But anyways, I was doing a lot of like more social thinking stuff with him, to kind of get him to think about how others perceive him, to kind of think out of the box. And he's been doing so well. So
right.
Very
That's
happy.
Very
and then
neat.
This past weekend, I had one of my old clients, Michael, call me, and he is in college as well. He's getting his communication degree, and he's now working for a new company. And so he asked if I would participate in like the survey kind of thing about kitchen products, right?
Huh.
But I was like sitting there talking to him, and I was like, this is absolutely amazing.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, I was like dumbfounded.
Sure.
Because the last time I had seen him was at his bar mitzvah when he had turned 13. Wow. And here I am talking to him, and I'm like, I mean, oh my word. I mean, just so poised, and so just brought so much joy to my heart.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
And you got to feel a sense of accomplishment and reward, and
yes,
you
definitely.
Contributed to that.
Yeah.
That's neat.
It's very exciting. It's very rewarding.
Yeah.
And it's something that I've been doing for a very long time.
Right.
And I've just had so many amazing clients throughout my years. And that's another thing. God has helped me be very patient.
Yeah.
And
I was actually thinking that as you're saying this, like, you got to have patience to do that.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And I would think it would help you kind of understand someone and why they do things. And the more you can understand people, what makes them tick, their thinking, that just helps you be a better teacher and a better nurturer.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah. Let's. Amanda, I don't know if anyone can hear it, but her kids are just out. We're in the basement, which is kind of like a family/youth area. There's foosball and air hockey and
it's a
ping
really
pong.
Cool hangout space.
And I think they're on the other side of this wall here, which is just drywall, so it's not very soundproofed. And I think they're playing air hockey.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I said we're going on air, so you have to be quiet. Not sure if they actually.
I think kids have a different idea of quiet, right?
You're right. I think you're absolutely right.
So, I just want to say I can speak on behalf of Providence Baptist Church that we think you and Rick and the kids are a godsend. We couldn't be more blessed to have you.
Oh, thank you.
I believe this with all that is in me, that our church does and can provide a great environment for someone's kids to grow up in the Lord and in the training of the Lord. And they're going to have people around them who are modeling Christ to them. They're going to have peers that are going to love them, that they can play with and grow up with. And they're going to know people, and they're going to be known by people.
Yes.
And in our world where it's amazing, we have so many ways to connect, and yet we're also disconnected.
I agree.
So that is the power of a smaller church, is that you can really be known and truly connected, not in an artificial way, but in a real concrete biblical way, right? We're to care for one another and encourage one another and bear one another's burdens,
right,
and weep with those who weep and rejoice with those who rejoice. And our church can really offer that. I'm not saying other churches can't, but we can.
Right.
Despite our size. In fact, some of it is because of our size.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will tell you, this past Sunday, we had lunch after church, which
Right.
we do on the first and third.
Typically first and third, yeah.
And Mary was, she's the young lady who kind of gets everything organized.
Right. She's our deacon. She does the
She's
lunches.
amazing.
Yeah.
And when I say young, I don't know how old she is, but she's definitely older than I am. And apparently her husband had fallen, and he has Parkinson's. And Irene was asking her, questions about, Irene's my youngest, she's 8, and she's like, Mary, where's your husband? And she's like, he's in the hospital. And my daughter was the sweetest. She was like, we'll be praying for him.
Aww.
What's his name?
I love it.
I think it was last night or the night before, she actually at bedtime was initiating praying for Ed and making.
Oh, that is awesome.
I was like,
Have you told Mary that?
I have not.
Oh, you'll bless her socks off when you tell her that. She'll love that.
She was praying for him.
Yeah.
It was the sweetest thing. So that's the other thing, that you can really care for each,
Right.
One another.
Yeah.
In a more meaningful way.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to talk about?
Let's see. Well, I am also on the music ministry.
Oh, the
here.
music ministry. I said we were going to talk about that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I am. So I am singing on the music ministry.
Yeah.
And now
you're playing an instrument that you've never played before,
Nope.
correct?
Yes. It's super easy.
And what's the instrument?
I have no idea.
Cajon.
A cajon.
That you can tell it truly is a new instrument, because she plays it and she plays it well.
Thank you.
And yet you don't even know the name of it.
No idea what name it is.
But you play it. That's all that matters.
Right.
I know the name and I can't play it.
Bob is super excited. He's like, I don't care if you sing or not sing, just play the drums.
Yeah.
So he needs that. And that keeps him happy, which I love, making Bob happy on the music ministry. I also like playing it because I can sing like the first verse and the chorus, and then usually I come on. I can't sing and play at the same time.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
I was mesmerized watching Bob this last Sunday play the guitar and harmonica at the same time.
He's amazing.
Yeah. Like I can't do the whole, I can't have my hands do two different things.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
So eventually I would like to be able to sing and play at the same time. Now, if it's a song I really know, I can sing the chorus to it.
Right.
But as soon as I start focusing on the lyrics, I seem to lose the beat of the drums. So I'm just trying to concentrate on the drums.
Well, you've only been playing the cajon for maybe 2 months.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it when I saw you up there, and I'm like, oh, Amanda's going to play. And then you did great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've messed up a couple times, but I'm able to get back on pretty quickly.
I find when musicians say they mess up, most people don't notice it.
Yeah.
They're probably more self-critical than others are.
Right. That makes sense.
And they're more aware.
Yeah.
We're hopefully we're worshiping and we're not going, oh, did they get that beat just right?
Exactly. But I try to get Rick to do it. And he was very funny. He was like, yeah, I would do it, but I don't want to have to get up earlier than I have to be here. And I'm like, what? Because you have to understand, at Cornerstone, he would come in super early to get good parking.
Right.
And I'm like, why won't you come a little bit earlier? Because he gets into his modes, you know,
Right.
like he doesn't want to have to break the waking up at 9 o'clock
Right.
instead of.
Hey, as a guy who likes to sleep in, I get it.
I know.
9 o'clock's like the best time because it's late, but it's not too late.
You can still get stuff done.
Yeah. So I hear him.
I get it.
I feel his
Still.
pain.
Yeah, I think he would rock the cajon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
even more so than I would.
Remember, you thought he wasn't going to come here, and then he did. So you never know.
You never know.
That switch may flip.
It might. You never know with him because he always keeps me guessing for sure.
Well, I know Bob. One thing I've observed about Bob is he loves getting people on the team playing instruments. You know, the more the merrier for him. So I know he's super happy to have you playing cajon.
Yeah, it's
And he's
fun.
very pleased.
It's fun. And I love James. Oh my God. Oh,
Yes.
we didn't have James this past Sunday.
Right. He was sick.
No, it was his mom.
Oh, that's right.
It was his mom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyways, it was just you get so used to them always being here, and then when one person's not, it's like,
You feel it.
yeah.
Yeah. James is a phenomenal piano player too, so you really do.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And he brings like the fun, you
Right.
know, the fun, the soul into
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
You know someone's good on an instrument when they have a sound to their playing, right?
Yeah.
They're not so basic where it's like, oh, that sounds like anyone who's learned to play piano would play that song. Like James has a particular sound and style to his piano playing.
And Bob and him will work on the arrangements and stuff like that. And he'll have ideas and he'll say, well, how about I do this at this point or this? My word, they work really well together.
Yeah. I know Bob's blessed to have James. Yeah.
James is so good. So,
And his family's great too.
Yes.
His boys and his wife and
yes.
Yeah.
Tanner and Spencer.
Yeah. And his wife, Yossi, she recently invited someone to the church. So it's like, good job, Yossi.
Yes. It's always good to invite people to church.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a great church.
Yeah.
So
you are invited.
Yes.
If you are watching, come to Providence Baptist Church,
please
10:30 a.m. Sunday school at 8:30 a.m. Adult Sunday school. So.
Yep. And
Or 9:30. I said 8:30. 9:30.
9:30. Yeah, and if you have kids, they can come to the children's ministry with me.
Yep.
I'm not intimidating. I like kids.
You're the opposite of intimidating.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, okay, Amanda, great to have you on. I think I look forward to having you on again. And I hope this gives people a feel for our church and more particularly our children's ministry, that if they come, their kids are going to be well taken care of and loved, and
Most
they'll find a
definitely.
home.
Most definitely.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
So that concludes this episode of Deepening Your Faith. Hope to see you again. And remember, we have the giveaway for the Jesus Storybook Bible, matching the theme of the kids ministry today. So on this episode of Deepening Your Faith on the YouTube channel, if you like, comment, and share and or subscribe, if you're the first person to do that, we'll send you a free hardback copy of the Jesus Storybook Bible.
Fun.
Yeah. So
I think I was trying to get one of the books.
you were.
Yeah, I can't remember which one.
Did you ever do it?
I don't know. I never heard that who won.
We've given away multiple books, but we've only had to send one so far. So there's still a few giveaways available from previous episodes. So
Okay. Well, I did order the one book that I did not.
okay,
So I'm looking forward to reading that.
right,
So, anyways,
yeah.
thank you very much, Pastor Daniel.
All right. God bless you guys.
All right, take care.